As I was browsing through YouTube, I realized there is a serious gap when it comes to tutorials on modern scroll animations. So in this video, we are kicking off a mini series that dives into advanced scroll animations you can build using GSAP and ScrollTrigger. For inspiration, instead of the usual recent SOTD winners, I looked at some older gems on Awwwards and found this incredible website. It features some standout animations, and today we are going to recreate one of those. This sticky section with animated cards, a progress bar that also changes colors and highlights the active timeline text too, all powered by GSAP and ScrollTrigger. Now I'm going to rebuild this one using just HTML, CSS and JavaScript. I decided to not use NextJS this time because it tends to make the videos longer and I want to keep things short and beginner friendly. But I'll still provide the source code for a NextJS version 2 if you are interested. If you want to unlock the source code, you can check out the Pro membership via the link in the description. For the price of a latte, you'll get access to these cool projects and monthly website templates, which I don't think you can get elsewhere for this price. Also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Alright, let's jump into the code. Let's start by breaking down the HTML structure. We are going to create three main sections: the hero section, a sticky section called pinned, and finally the footer. First, the hero section. It's simply going to be a background image that will set using CSS, so there is no need for any content inside this section. Next, we have the footer. All it needs is an h1 tag with some placeholder text. Now, moving on to the pinned section. We start with a sticky header, adding an h1. After that, we create the progress bar container. Inside this, we'll add another div with the class progress, which will show the scrolling progress by animating its height as we scroll. Next, we'll build out the indices. There will be 4 index items, each with a unique ID. Inside each of these, we'll place 3 paragraph elements. The first one will contain an icon and the other 2 will have some text. Finally, we add the cards. Each card will be a div with the class card and a unique ID. The card will be split into 2 parts, one showing the phase number and the other displaying the title. Both will have placeholder text for now. I'll replicate this card 3 more times, updating the IDs and content as needed. And that's the basic HTML structure. Now let's move on to styling. First, I have set the scroll bar display to none to hide the scroll bar for a cleaner look. Then, we'll apply a global reset by setting all margins and paddings to 0 and using box sizing border box for better control over element sizes. For the HTML and body, I have set their width and height to 100%, with the body height specifically set to 600 viewport height. This includes 100 viewport height each for the hero and footer sections, and the remaining height provides room to animate the pinned section as we scroll. I have also set a custom font and a white text color across the body. Next, let's style the images. I have ensured all the images take up the 100% of their containers and maintain their aspect ratio with object fit set to cover. Each section spans the full width and height of the viewport with a black background. For the hero section, I have added a background image that will be centered and covered the entire section. In the footer, I've used Flexbox to center the h1 text both horizontally and vertically with a font size of 4 viewport width for responsiveness and a white color. Now for the sticky header, I've positioned it absolutely in the center of the viewport using the transform technique. The text inside the h1 has a transparent fill but is outlined with white using text stroke. Moving on to the cards. Each card is absolutely positioned off the screen initially and will animate them into view later. They are styled with a width of 40% and a height of 50% and centered with Flexbox. I have added background images to each card, which are just gradients, along with borders that use semi-transparent colors to match the card themes. The cards are divided into two parts, the face, which is shown at the top, and the title, which is centered. For the progress bar, I placed it on the right side of the screen. The progress will be animated using ScrollTrigger, and I've also added a gradient to it as a smooth fading effect. Now the indices, these will be displayed on the right side, and each index item will have an icon and some descriptive text. I styled them with distinct colors to differentiate between the phases. The opacity is set to 0.25 initially, but will animate that too. Lastly, I pasted some CSS from Lenny's documentation to implement smooth scrolling. And don't forget to add the media queries. I've adjusted the layout to look good on smaller screens by resizing the cards, reducing font sizes, and hiding unnecessary text for a more compact view. Now that the styles are set, let's move on to the JavaScript to bring the animations to life. First, we start by registering the ScrollTrigger plugin. We are also integrating Lenny's to add smooth scrolling. Lenny's listens for scroll events and ensures that ScrollTrigger stays updated in sync with the page scroll. Now let's grab the elements we'll be animating, starting with the print section, sticky header, cards, progress bar, and indices. Next, we add a few key values to control the animation. We calculate the number of cards and use that to set the total height of the print section, ensuring enough scroll space for the animations. I've also defined starting and ending rotation angles for the cards, so each one rotates as it scrolls into view. Lastly, I've defined an array of colors for the progress bar. Next, we'll set the initial rotation for each card based on the values we defined earlier. We also initialize two key variables, one to keep track of whether the progress bar is visible and another to store the current active index. These will help us control when the progress bar and indices are shown or updated during the scroll. Now first, we create a function called animateIndexOpacity. This function checks if the current active index has changed. If it has, it updates the opacity of each index, setting the active one to full opacity and fading out the others to 0.25. This keeps the focus on the current section as we scroll. Next, We need to make sure the current active index is updated to reflect the latest active index, so we store that value inside the function. Now let's handle the visibility of the progress bar and indices. We create two functions, show progress and indices and hide progress and indices. In the show progress and indices function, we use GSAP to animate the opacity of the progress bar and indices to 1, making them visible. This is done with a smooth animation over 0.5 seconds. Then, in the hide progress and indices function, we do the reverse. We fade out both the progress bar and indices by setting their opacity to 0. We also call animate index opacity with the value of -1 to reset the indices. These two functions will allow us to toggle the visibility of the progress bar and indices as needed during the scroll animation. Now we'll set up the ScrollTrigger instance that controls the entire scroll animation. First, we specify the element that will trigger the animation, which is the pinned section. This section will be the main area where all our animations take place. Next, we define when the animation starts and ends. It starts when the top of the pinned section reaches the top of the viewport and continues for the height of the section, which we calculated earlier as the total height of the cards plus some extra space. We also pin this section, which means the pinned section stays fixed in place as the user scrolls. This allows us to animate its content while the section remains visible on the screen. The onLive callback is triggered when the user scrolls past the end of the pinned section. When this happens, we hide the progress bar and indices by calling the hide progress and indices function. Then the onEnterBack callback is triggered when the user scrolls back up into the pinned section. At that point, we show the progress bar and indices again by calling the show progress and indices function. Now we'll set up the onUpdate callback inside the ScrollTrigger. This function runs every time the scroll position updates. First, we calculate the scroll progress. We multiply the current progress by the total number of cards plus 1 to determine which card is currently active. We use the floor function to round down and get the index of the active card. Next, we handle the sticky header's opacity. If the scroll progress is less than or equal to 1, we gradually fade out the sticky header as the user scrolls down. This is done by reducing the opacity based on the scroll position, making the header disappear smoothly. Once the progress goes beyond 1, we completely hide the sticky header by setting its opacity to 0. We then manage the visibility of the progress bar and indices. If the progress is greater than 1 and the progress bar isn't visible yet, we call show progress and indices function to make them visible. On the other hand, if the progress goes back below 1 and the progress bar is visible, we hide it again by calling hide progress and indices function. This logic ensures that both the sticky header and the progress bar behave dynamically based on the scroll position, providing smooth transitions. Now let's control the progress bar's behavior as we scroll. First, we calculate the height of the progress bar based on how far the user has scrolled through the cards. This height is expressed as a percentage increasing as we move down the page. We also determine the color index, which selects the appropriate color for the progress bar from our predefined list. The color changes as we pass each card. Next, using GSAP, we animate both the height and the background color of the progress bar. This transition is smooth, with the bar adjusting in real time as the scroll progresses. Additionally, if the progress bar is visible, we update the opacity of the indices to ensure everything stays in sync. Now let's handle the animation of the cards as we scroll. We loop through each card and first check its position relative to the current scroll progress. If the card's index is less than the current active card, we position it at the center of the screen and set its final rotation. This gives us the effect that card has already moved into its place. If it's the active card, we calculate its progress and smoothly transition the card's position and rotation as the user scrolls. We use GSAP's interpolation function to smoothly animate the card from its starting point off screen to its final position at the center, while rotating it at the same time. For any cards that haven't been reached yet, we keep them off screen at the bottom using the starting rotation values we defined earlier. This way, they stay ready to animate into view when the user scrolls through them. And that's it. Hope you found the video helpful. See you in the next one.